You all know my name's Kelly anyway. So I grew up in Mixington, like in rough estate. Everything was good as a kid. I was in pantomimes, I was in courier all the time, winning trophies in civic theatre. And then my mum caught my dad necking another woman, her best mate in nightclub, so it broke her heart. So they split up and I was about 9-year-old. So I'd seen my mum coming back, digging fet, which is speed in kitchen, with her mates and that. And I'd be babysitting for my younger brother and sister at age of 9. She was proper wild, having parties and that. I'd hear her with men. So we ended up moving to Elland anyway, and then she sent me to my grandma's so that she could sort her head out. I ended up getting abused at my grandma's when I was about 10, but then because I came forward, others came forward, so he got sent to jail. So that really messed my head up. So I'd be bad by that point. I'd be drinking with my mates and that on the streets at about 11-year-old, cider, smoking spliffs and popping pills. So it sent me off rails anyway. My mum was still partying and that. I'd be arguing with her. She was drunk one night and told me that I'd asked for it, that I deserved it. She actually gave me my first spliff when I was 11. Her and an army mate and were laughing at me whiting on the couch. So I'd be on run and that. I wouldn't go back home because I hated it. She'd be around Ellen flashing her bum and boobs, and all my mates would be coming to school telling me, so it was proper embarrassing. So I ended up getting pregnant anyway when I was 13. I lost my proper virginity. So I got pregnant. I was living on the streets anyway. My mum's come and found me. She's like, Kelly, if you sort your head out, if I sort my head out, will you come back home? So she talked me into getting rid of it. So I had to have an operation because I was 14 weeks. So she took me to hospital, dropped me at hospital, went to work. I was on my own, picked me up after it. I was under anaesthetic, so I got a taxi home, and then she came in the bedroom in the morning, and she'd only been seeing this man a few weeks, and was like, right, Kelly, he said it's him or you, so you've got to go. So I was out living on the streets. I was sleeping on flat landings, on carpet bit, in my mates' wardrobes. But then her mum caught me sleeping in the wardrobe and that, so she phoned social services. So I went in kids' zones at about 14, and I grew up in kids' zones, and we were really rebellious, me and my mates. So we'd be playing Ouija boards in kids' zones while staff were asleep. I started doing dance start, ignition sealer with everyone in kids' zones because all their heads are messed up. Doing fets, me and Claire be going out grafting during the week, robbing clothes and that to pay for money to get in tram shed, or even get ticket out at courier to get in free, you know. And then we'd be out partying, kids' zones, workers didn't want bothered. We'd be out from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday nights and all, tram shed, clubbing in town, doing all sorts of pills, ecstasy. Kev used to be there as well in club. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so then I got on gear in kids' homes when I was 15. I was proper habbited up by age of 17. So yeah, I got with kids' dad. We had 2 kids. We did alright for years, like we took kids abroad. We were always on gear, methadone, crack started coming in. Like we did alright, kids got everything, you know, but I got sick of him being locked up in and out of jail and being at home with kids, so I ended up splitting up with him after 14.5 years, and because I thought grass was greener on the other side. So then I got with this man, like he's locked up for murder now, and he battered me black and blue. He tried killing me. I had panic alarms. He put me in a safe house. I had to have police coming over the house every hour doing checks. I'd wake up, he'd put drugs in, like sleeping tablets in the drink on a night. This was like his trademark. He's got a clear law, he's not allowed near girls or kids. So I'd wake up with like bite marks all over my body, bruised handprints on my legs where he abused me during my sleep, during night. So that proper broke me, as if I wasn't already, but I had proper bad rejection, and I still have issues like that. So I had to split up with him. Social services were involved, but I got pregnant. I was 20 weeks pregnant, and I've gone into this cafe. By this time I've been on smack, crack, crystal meth, quetiapine, antidepressants, all sorts for 21 years non-stop. So I was 20 weeks pregnant with my baby, my Kyron, and I've met my mum and sister, and we've gone to like a 20-week scan. So I've called in at this cafe, And in this cafe, this little old lady was sitting in there with a newspaper. She didn't have a drink sandwich or out. So I've ordered my butter, my mum and sister sat down. I've gone outside to have a cig. This little old lady's followed me out. She's like, can I just tell you, you've had a really hard life. She said, the second half of it's going to more than make up for it. She said, look out for the names John and Trish, because they're going to change your life and you're going to go through some problems with your baby. And the only man I knew, I didn't know anyone called Trish, the only man I knew called John was Peg Leg. He only had one leg, that's what we used to call him. So anyway, so I just thought, alright. So I've gone to hospital anyway, and I found out my baby, because I was 20 weeks pregnant, had cysts on his left kidney and bladder. So like I'd got social services involved, I was proper broken at this point. So then I had my Chiron, it was about 6 weeks premature, and so I had my Chiron anyway, and I spent more time in hospital than I did with him. I mean, I did drugs when I was pregnant as well, I couldn't stop it, you know, like, I was too broken. I couldn't deal with normal life, you know, I couldn't do it, you know, there was too much had gone on inside. So, my Chiron was born anyway, and at 4 months old, he got registered blind, he had a hole in his heart, a tethering at spinal cord. One of his kidney had shriveled and disappeared, the other kidney was low working. He had a genetic condition called Sotis syndrome, he was NG tube fed. I had medical professionals at my house all the time. My kitchen was like full on chemist with boxes, syringes, he's pulling tubes out, I had to put it back down into his stomach, and I had to connect pumps with milk going through him, so this totally killed me, you know, the guilt and shame just crippled me, like, couldn't even walk around with people looking, thinking you did drugs, look what, I mean, doctors don't know if I did it, but they can't say, you know. So anyway, and then I've seen on my street, someone's come on my street with a massive syringe, like twice this real width that way, with a coffin in it, and it's a man called John Edwards, and his wife's called Trish, and this lady told me about John and Trish in the cafe, New Beginnings Church, Martin Dugan all came. So God sent a rescue army out for me, you know, and John Edwards said he felt the Holy Spirit telling him to come on my street. So I got saved there and then. He gave me one of his books, Walking Free. They picked me and my Chiron up. My older two wouldn't come to church, but they picked me and my Chiron up on Sunday, went to New Beginnings, and dedicated my Chiron to the Lord. And at that point, a few weeks later, the hole in his heart had healed. When I started going to church, it like, the loving people around it lifted me up and that. It was like it filled an hole, you know. I did well for drugs for a few weeks, but I was still messed up, so all the things with my Chiron just were hard work, you know. So anyway, like I ended up losing kids when he was about 10 months old, so I took an overdose anyway because I couldn't carry on. I didn't want to die, but I just couldn't carry on living that life anymore. All the hurt and pain just destroyed me, and I tried so much to get off drugs, but I couldn't do it. So I sat in my bedroom. At this point, my house was a mess. I was in muck and mire, like, you know, I'd sold stuff because I just wasn't bothered. I didn't want to be here, you know. So I was sat on my mat. I took an overdose anyway. I woke up 2.5 days later and I was sobbing my heart out because it hadn't worked. And I was proper in hysterics, like proper crying. And all of a sudden, like, I felt this thing from behind me, like proper tall, towering over me. I was looking over my shoulder, but I couldn't see it, and I stopped crying like that. They say that peace that passes all understanding in the Bible, and that came over me. And I was moving my shoulders. It's like a silky blanket of feathers were coming over me. And there's a scripture in the Bible, Psalm 91, he will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find shelter. And he's done that ever since. But so I woke up the next few days with it on my heart to ring John and Trish, so they took me in, detoxed me. So in 6 weeks I went from 95ml meth to 25ml meth, came off heroin, I came off all tablets, came off everything. I got that 25ml meth. I went to Teen Challenge, done loads of work on myself. So I'm graduating on 7th of September, but in that time, like, I've dealt with all sorts, I've dealt with all my issues, like God set me free, Galatians 5:1, it is for freedom that Jesus Christ has set us free, no longer have to be yoked to that bondage of sin. But He speaks to me in dreams. When I was pregnant, I had a dream he was going to be blind. When he was 4 months old, he got registered blind. But not only that, prayers have been going up everywhere for McKiron. The doctors don't get it. When I was at Teen Challenge, I got a phone call off doctors saying that the kidney he had was low working, so he'd been put on emergency waiting list for a new kidney. So everyone were praying for him. And then about 8 weeks later, the doctors don't get it, they're blown away. His sight's come back. They never said he'd walk. They said he'd been, at best, he'd always need a wheelchair. He's walking now. He was on peg tubes, NG tubes. He's eating now. This is the mad one, like the kidney that was shriveled and disappeared is rebooting. It was dead. It's now 12% working. The other one's 80%. Yeah, it's a number of it's just this, he's proper real McKiron. But not only that, he's took all my shame, all my guilt. I'm not just speaking the scripture set free, I am actually set free. When I got that, I kept getting vision of Statue of Liberty, I told you at time. And I didn't know what it was when we were fasting. And so I'm like, Sue's like, ask what it is. So, and I've just come through my counselling with last bit. And I kept getting this vision clear as day. And I opened up my New King James Bible and it were Christian liberty in that one, it's headed, Galatians 5:1. So I didn't think much of it. And then another day I've opened it up, exactly same page. And that's like, moments like this, it pings out at you. And I sat and I thought, wow, I am actually free from it all, like everything. Like I felt like a Scottish person out of Braveheart. I wanted to run over a mountain and be like, freedom! No, but seriously, like all the hurt, everything, like I've got the joy of the Lord, I've been set free. He's took everything I've gone through, all hurt that's been done to me, everything I've done to others, like he's took all that, and I shouldn't be forgiven, but I am, do you know, I don't hold any like massive breakthrough. What's happened's happened. I'm no longer that person. I'm a new creation. I'm born again. Do you know, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And if God is for me, who can be against me? So I don't fear now. I'm walking side by side with him. I still go through times of troubles, but I know he's with me through it, do you know, and he'll keep taking me deeper, like Ezekiel 47 river of healing, and he keeps doing that and gives me a bit more beauty for ashes every time. And he reveals something more in me, or scriptures will open up to me. I've had audible voices in my dreams. One, I was praying about my future, and I had an audible voice in my dream saying, forget the former things, for I'm doing a new thing. For future vision will be revealed at the appointed time, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future, Jeremiah 29:11. So, not just that, like I've had all sorts of dreams as well, just say one at last one. So I had a dream, and this is mad, like I have dreams and they happen the next day. I had a dream, I was sat in a church, one of the staff members at Teen Challenge, she got saved 11 years ago, and I've looked behind me and Jesus, he didn't have flames coming out of his eyes, but in his eyes were fire, even the little holes in his nose, in his mouth. He started walking up to us, I was shaking and everything, and then he started speaking to Jackie Reed, the staff member in my dream, but he had his back to me, so I don't know what he said to her. Then he turned around to me and said, stop looking at the time, just keep going. So I've woke up in the morning, I've told the staff member, gone and found her. And then the next day, she's come and found me. She's proper excited, she's like, because she's got a machine on her heart. She said, Kelly, you never guess what's happened. She said, I had an audible voice in my dream last night telling me to stop worrying about my heart and my future, that I'm going to be alright. And that's only the second time it's ever happened. But with God, like, it is like a real life fairy tale, like the Bible. I know it's not magic, but it's supernatural, like it's actually a living word, like you get light bulb moments, there's healing in it, like it's like a real life fairy tale. And if there's one thing he's done, is touch my heart, and they say one touch from the king changes everything. It's changed everything for me, his love. Yeah, that's it.